Good evening, I'm Robert Stone, the chair of the Underhill Selectboard. Today is the 28th of August. It is now 6:02. We are at the Underhill Town Hall at 12 Pleasant Valley Road in Underhill. We have an agenda that has been prepared in advance. It's been posted. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Patty, yes.
I'd like to propose one addition at the end for an executive session for personnel matter.
Okay, we have an executive session. We can add personnel, and that will be for 1 VSA 313A1.
I had it. Would you do that little slip of paper I gave you, Jennifer?
What's in this? Did somebody calling in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give it to Bob.
1 VSA 313A3, the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee. Okay, so we'll do that during the same time frame, 7:55. Hi. Any other adjustments to the agenda? Good to see you. No, I just walked in 2 minutes before you. Any other adjustments? Once, twice? Okay. Opening public comment. Anybody here have any comments? No? Anybody online? I see a couple of people. Once, twice, sold. Okay, the next item on the agenda is our friend Don Toby is here, and he wants to discuss with us the ash tree removal proposal and the tree warden stipend. Hi, Don.
Hey, Bob.
How's it going?
Doing well.
Good.
How are you folks?
Good to be seen and good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see everybody.
So,
All right. So we have gotten, I think, a pretty good bid from DJ's Tree Service to begin removals of ash trees.
okay,
And my thought, I've discussed it with Brad some already and Russ. My thought is we start on Poker Hill. There's a lot of dying ash there already, and they're pretty dense along the whole stretch of Poker Hill. So we'll have to see how far they can get in a day. Their quote is a price per day for their whole menagerie of equipment, including the Centibulgan, bucket truck, and the whole tree chipper, chip trucks. They'll take the trees down. And the Centibulgan, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's like a huge tree shear, but it's on wheels. And it's got a very long articulated arm, and it can actually reach up into the top of the tree and cut the top out or branches and then hold them and then bring them down and set them right in the road and then into the chipper. So they can operate around power lines, and they're certified to do that as well, power line work. So they can go through and do a lot of trees pretty quickly. I talked to Jacob Myers, who's one of the owners, and he runs the Centibulgan as well. He thinks they can do 50 to 60 trees in a day. And a lot of it depends on the size of the trees as well. We've got a whole bunch of them marked up there that are like 10 inches, 6 to 10 inches. I think they can just burn right through those. But there are some big ones too that are going to take some time.
That's mostly on the north end of Poker Hill, though, right? The bigger one?
Yeah. Covey's got a lot of big ones.
Yeah.
And there are some on Poker Hill that are, 3+ feet in diameter.
Those are the ones we were eyeing for the floorboard.
Yeah. So they will cut and remove and clean up, but they will also leave the wood for the homeowners, and it's the homeowners' right to keep the wood that is located on their frontage. So this is going to involve time on our part. We have to contact every landowner along the road and ask them if they want to keep their wood. And if they do, not only do I have to mark the trees to be removed with, I put an X of blue paint on the ones to come out. The way I've done it before, which worked out pretty well, was then I go back and I put pink ribbons around the trees that the homeowners want to keep. We've had some issues in the past, not in Underhill, but in Jericho, where I'm the tree warden as well, where the trees got taken away and then the homeowners came out and said, I want my trees. And, threatened to sue the town, and it gets to be a nightmare sometimes. So we just need to make sure we don't go into this in a rush and we get all the preliminary stuff done first. And that makes it easier for the tree people as well. So I'm hoping that they might be able to do the whole length of Poker Hill in 3 days. And that's probably, it's going to be about 200 trees. But don't forget, we have 2,218 trees in our right-of-ways in Underhill. And the total cost, my estimate was it was going to be $220,000 total. I would still hope that we can get it done for less than that, but it's possible that in the end it could be that much, and it's a lot. So I kind of want to just give this a try, see how far they can get. So I'm proposing that we try to come up with or okay funding for up to 3 days of work. If they finish Poker Hill in 2 days, which I don't think they can, but if they do, great. I mean, I want to see how far they can get and how cost effective it's going to be.
I think I proposed 2 days, like we talked about.
Yeah, I got to thinking about it afterwards, and I'm like, well, looking at how many trees we actually have to do, maybe we should try to go more.
We have it in the budget, right?
Right.
We have a line item in the budget, I just don't remember.
We added a pretty good amount to the tree line in that highway.
Specifically for ash trees, right, so
Yep.
let's start backing away, sawing away.
Yeah.
So, before we go too far, I'm gonna move that the town enter into a contract with DJ's Tree Service for removal of ash trees and the other endangered trees on the southern end of Poker Hill Road, working north, for 3 days at the quoted price of $10,500 per day, totaling approximately $33,500. Is there a second?
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
I just want to put a comment in about the Bogan, whatever it is called. They came to my house after the January windstorm, picked up the trees, flew over the top of the house, put them out in front of the house, cleaned it up. They were done in 3 hours, and I had 9 giant trees down.
Yeah.
The thing was amazing.
Having the right equipment really makes a big
Safe
difference in how
And
efficient.
amazing how incredible that machine
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So I really put a plug in for DJs to
Pretty
come and
neat.
help
It's
us.
on Russ's wish list at Christmas time. He found the Christmas catalog from Sears Roebuck.
There's a little.
So
tiny
I have another observation, and that is there are other dead trees that are dangerous on Poker Hill. What do I do about them? It just seems silly to walk by them without marking them for removal.
If they are there and you notice them, then I would deal with it.
Like the
I
one you
think
guys.
it was in Bob's motion. He said, and in any other danger trees.
Okay, all right,
Just so everyone's clear.
all right. I just want to make sure if we
No,
do
that's
some
good.
others.
I'm
that that's
glad you
okay.
said something.
It's good to clarify.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a great idea.
Any other discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the town enter into the contract with DJs to remove the ash trees and other dangerous trees on the southern end of Poker Hill Road, working their way north for 3 days at the quoted price of $10,500, totaling $33,500, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Those opposed with a nay? Abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Isn't it 31?
I was gonna say, I think your numbers.
Maybe I did it wrong.
Yeah, that's okay, but I just
I'm
want to
tired.
make it clear.
Extra.
Extra hazardous trees.
As long as it's per day.
Can you please work with, if it's a consensus of the board, can you please work with Brad on the possibility of having something written so that we do not fall into the same tree trap that Jericho did, as far as if someone says, I don't want any trees, can you sign this? Quick little statement, so then we don't have almost like tree remorse, type of thing, that I did want that. I think that between you, Brad, and maybe our legal minds, we can come up with something that would be relatively simple. It doesn't need to be, I don't think, long and drawn out, but
Okay.
just so that there isn't any, I hate to be in that situation.
Yeah, we talked about doing a door tag, a door hanger for, if we can't get a hold of somebody, we could hang it on their front door, and it basically has the information of what's going to be happening and who to call if they have questions.
I would not remove any trees without talking to somebody first.
Yeah,
I think that would be bad, that would be poor form if we just, I mean, accidents happen, but I try to make sure that we, it'll be time consuming, but try to get in touch with all that we can that.
well, we usually do.
I know you do, you're
Yeah.
a professional. No, I mean, as a comment, I'm not trying to be smart, you are, and we appreciate you more than you know.
Well, thank you.
What about also doing a front porch forum post?
Sure,
Yeah,
Brad.
I'll do a front porch forum post before it happens, just to kind of warn people that it's happening and that we will be coming by.
That's a good introduction.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that they can't keep their wood. And then any wood that doesn't want to, the landowner doesn't want to keep it, I'm looking into, DJ says we'll take those logs and donate them to Wood for Good, which in itself is a great idea, only if they are infested with emerald ash borer, I need to make sure that they're not going to be distributing those firewood chunks
Correct.
outside the county into places where it
Needs to
hasn't.
stay in the neighborhood.
Yeah, they need to stay close by. And I think if Wood for Good, we have it in Underhill, we have it in Jericho. We're in an area of Vermont that is infested. So, but
Why help them?
yeah, like one neighborhood may not have it yet. And if, we don't want a delivery of EAB infested firewood logs going,
The beetles
That
don't
way.
need our help.
there's no, quarantine. There's no quarantines anymore, but Vermont has a slow the spread mandate, which at certain times of the year, we're not supposed to distribute, ship logs to places where we don't already have EAB. And it's not something that you could be fined, it's just a suggestion. But I think we ought to try to maintain that. But I will talk with Eric Axelrod from Wood for Good and just find out what he thinks. He may say, I don't want it.
My question is, just from noticing Vermont State Campgrounds camping this summer, that it's no longer, it's just as, you can bring firewood as long as it's from the state of Vermont.
Yeah,
And
Right.
it hasn't been like that.
right. They've
In
opened it up a
previous
little bit
years.
again.
And so the state parks have opened it up to the entire
Yeah.
state.
Most of the state parks have had all the ash trees removed as well.
Unfortunately, it all started in the campground, like Apple Tree
Yeah.
Bay.
Yeah.
A lot of out-of-state people bringing their own firewood, and I believe that was the
Probably,
introduction
yeah.
right there.
Ah,
Yeah.
from New York.
Another digger on the New Yorkers.
Yep. Anytime we can dig them, we will.
Yorkers.
Yeah.
For New Yorkers. Don't worry, Patty. We won't allow any more digs on.
That is where I grew up.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We're done with that. We're moving forward. No more. Right now, start right
Only
now.
250 years ago, we're over.
Definitely.
Until Bennington Valley,
Right.
and we celebrate the defeat of New York.
Don, the other thing that was on here was a stipend for you for doing all this stuff, and I don't see any recommendations or motions, proposed motions on the stipend for you, so I'd like to address that if we can. I'm all for compensating you for overseeing this process, but I don't have a sense as far as what is reasonable and customary for someone in your capacity overseeing a project like this. Do you have
Well,
what you've done with others? that you
Sure. Let me say what I do with Jericho. And Jericho, they pay me an hourly fee, and it's $50 an hour. But when all is said and done, everything that I do for them, it doesn't amount to more than $1,000 to $1,500 per year. And that's the way it's been for like the 12 or so years I've been doing it there.
Well, I'd move that we pay you $51 because you're from Underhill.
But, so we could either, if we do it hourly, I keep track of everything, I write it all down, and then I submit a detailed invoice. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I've been doing it. We could either do that, or we could just come up with a stipend, a yearly stipend,
What would you,
$1,500 or something.
what would you like?
Well, it's my town, I don't want to rip me off.
No, you're,
Now, I think you've had enough experience in detailing, and you know Underhill,
Yeah,
how much it would take. So I think the stipend aspect would be the way to go.
yeah,
And especially given the extra work, during this ash tree marking, contacting,
yeah,
talking, meeting with neighbors.
yeah.
I would urge you to be liberal.
I think Poker Hill's gonna be challenging. I don't know how many butters we have, but there's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot. If you're gonna do 3
Yeah.
days and you think you're gonna make it past
Yeah,
North Underhill,
Yeah,
that's a lot of people to talk to.
yeah,
Don, I'm gonna, because I misspoke earlier, and said 33,500, I think is what I said, and that was wrong by $2,000. I'm gonna move that we approve a stipend for you for that $2,000 that I made the error on, just as a starting point, so then it would actually equal the 33,500 that we already approved. If that's okay with you.
that works for me.
So I'll move that we compensate Don $2,000 for a stipend, for being the tree warden, dealing with the ash tree dilemma that we're facing. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Can you keep track just roughly? So at the
I
end of the
do.
year, let's check in to say,
Yep.
that 2,000 was not enough, and then we
Yeah.
can, just in case
Yeah.
you're spending a whole lot more time.
I mean,
I
it's
don't want to
right.
shortchange you.
You know, the Underhill plan that I did took me about 20 hours.
Yeah, it's all the work you've done for us.
Yeah, that
It's
was
evident.
magnificent.
And don't forget about the day-to-day tree stuff. too,
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Right.
It's,
Right.
And I'm wondering about mileage. It might be a pain to keep track of miles, a mile here, a mile there, but
Mileage is contribution. The one thing I will need reimbursement for is the tree marking paint. Once I start going through gallons of that.
Work with Brad and come up with a list of supplies that,
Yeah.
you need, and we'll make sure that we deal with that accordingly.
Okay,
He's got good contacts with different vendors, so,
all right.
or you do, I'm sure the two of you can work it out.
Yeah, we've gotten it before.
Force your supply.
Yeah,
and
forestry
this,
supplies.
and this also should come out of that line item for ash tree.
Any
removal.
supplies
So
or
we
anything
have,
that he, yeah.
right, we have sufficient
Yeah.
funds.
I mean, we use a little bit every year, but for the next 2, 3, 4 years when we're doing ash removals, we'll use more.
I'm not expecting you to find old bottles and cans on Poker Hill Road to compensate you for this project.
Yeah.
So don't
Yeah.
worry. Patty already takes them home every other night, so we don't have to worry about that. Oh, that wasn't bad. All right, we have a motion and it's been seconded. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I don't take cans of paint home.
No. All right, I'm sorry. I said I wasn't gonna pick on anybody from New York. Here I am, breaking my own rule. Sorry. Any other discussion? Okay,
All right, so
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hi.
Thank you very
Motion
much.
carries.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Don?
And I'm hoping we can work as a group to
Yeah.
contact landowners and,
It's like we all, between the three of us, we probably know.
Yeah.
almost all of them. So,
and I think we ought to keep a map
yeah.
and write on each one when we've contacted them, or, something like that, just to.
Sounds good.
So we
So
know.
I will,
I like the idea of
notify-
the signed form, I agree with that.
I think the select board ought to go out and try to connect with these people.
Well, actually, no, seriously, I was gonna say, living off on Timber Ridge,
You wanna
on
talk
Butler
about
Hill, I
yourself?
have a handful of folks on Timber Ridge, I'd be willing, on Poker Hill rather.
Yeah.
that I can reach out to.
You'd be our token ash tree person.
I'd love to.
I'll reach out to
Sometimes it's
Kyle.
fun, sometimes it's like.
Is it Kyle?
Jake,
Jake. sorry.
Jake, yeah.
Jake, and let him know, because I
All
told
right.
him I would.
And
Because he's
let's-
kind of holding us a little.
Yeah.
I would expect it's gonna take, looking like October timeframe probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone the next 2 weeks too, so
Okay.
I think October, yeah.
Now the truth comes out.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, so
Very good.
there's no rush at this point. I mean, we're already too late on a lot of these, but,
Did he say that they could do it this, before winter?
Yeah.
They did?
oh yeah,
I don't know if we were talking 1 to 2 days, but I'll talk to
Yeah.
him.
yeah.
I'll let you know.
The more the better. I mean, for him, his usual price for this, for all this equipment is $15,000 a day. So he's giving it to us 10-5, us and Jericho, hoping that he'll get the whole town eventually.
Let Eric Johnson know how well we're taking care of you over there.
I will.
I should. You tell him I said that. Yeah,
They've always taken good care
I
of
hope so.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
All right,
I'll be in touch.
Thanks,
Thanks.
all right,
Don.
great.
Thanks,
guys.
Don.
Good to see you all.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks. All right.
All right, next on the hit parade is the fiscal year 25 year-end review, and our friend Jennifer is here to review with us all the financial stuff.
And Sherry just texted, she was getting x-rays.
No biggie. We're good.
So this isn't, my thing isn't working well the right way, so you'll have to bear with me. But there's only 9 slides, so I'll make it painless. The audit, I've kind of started doing all the legwork for the audit, but the audit itself hasn't started yet, so there'll be some adjustments to these numbers. But I think we've got a pretty good picture, and I sent it to all of you. You should have received it. Typically, the things that we focus on, both for like when we sit down to work on our budget for the next year, and also things that we want to look at that we're like, oh, geez, what happened there? We typically look at 2 things. Plus or minus $1,000 over or under budget, and in that same item, is it 25% more or less than we budgeted? So some things may have a high percentage because it was only $1,000 item and it went over, $250, but something else might be a $100,000 item and it's a small percentage. So we have to kind of juggle that. But all in all, it was a great year. So that's the first focus. And now in order for me to do this, I have to switch to this other thing. So this is, bear with me one sec.
Go slow.
Okay, now the next screen should pop up. There we go. Now let me go back to my screen that I need to look at. The way I like to go through the financial reviews is first do the general fund revenues, general fund expenses, and then highway fund revenue, highway fund expenses. Even though they're all the same pool of money, it's helpful for us to keep it separate and help to identify where our costs are things. So the town of Underhill basically virtually received almost 100% of our revenue is taxes. We don't have other cost bases. We don't have other taxes that we receive other than, our property taxes. So we received some small amounts elsewhere, so when you're looking on the revenue, our revenue page is big, but they're all little, small items. The bulk of it's coming from that. This year, there is one significant transfer in, and that's all of the remaining ARPA dollars are transferred into our general account. We made that resolution in January, so that's all coming through into our general fund for in the year. So that will show up as some surplus dollars because we still have committed things that we haven't done. The only other way that we revenue we have is grant money that we get and we do not budget for. We used to, as a town, put grants that we were hoping to get in the budget, but that really bites you in the butt if the grant doesn't come in, and you really can't count on it. We also have debt capital, which is through bonds or loans. This year, we borrowed $290,000. That was to buy the new tandem truck. So you'll see that on the revenue side, then you'll also see the expenditure on the asset side for the vehicle. So in some cases, ARPA funds are, when we go through the expenses, you'll notice that looks like it's way over budget when we get to the expenses, but it's only because ARPA dollars came in as income to offset those additional amounts, and I'll show you that when I get there. We also had interest income, and hopefully you all remember that we said we were going to have this extra interest income that we hadn't budgeted, and the reason we have such a high interest income is because we had all those ARPA dollars in our sweep account and we were getting interest. And we had made a commitment to use that money to offset some of the extra expenses in the renovations to town hall, and also some of it was to do the extra tree. Was it one tree or two trees that we did at the schoolhouse? I can't remember, but it was like $1,500 or something that wasn't budgeted there. So that money also comes through here. Now I'll go back to this one. Switch. Is that right?
I think you skipped one.
Hold on. There we go. Now let's go back to that. Like I said, there's only 9, so it shouldn't be this painful. It won't be too painful. Now moving on to general government expenses, and I will print out, this is already online actually on our website, so you can go back and look at it with the page numbers. And there's really nothing earth-shattering to report on anything here. There's no major surprises on anything on this page. Did it go to the next one? Something. And I've gone over this one before, but the town hall, you'll see that the expense is 125%. That's because we went over, we did the painting, we did the floors, we did some electrical upgrades, things like that. So unfortunately, we also then had this flood that happened in the bathroom right after, and that is in here as an expense under town hall, but there's also income that was offset on the revenue side because we got insurance money to cover that cost. The one thing that I noticed that I haven't circled back to, and we will, I guess, when we sit down to do budget for next year, is Veterans Park was supposed to, there's some money earmarked for Veterans Park, and we didn't do that, and I'm not really sure what happened there. But that was one thing also. And again, I don't see anything else there. So, next one. The use of ARPA funds and additional revenue, basically at the end of the year with all the ins and outs, leaves us at 99.6%, which I've never seen in all the years that I've been working here. I don't even understand that. So I know it'll be slightly different because there's audit stuff that needs to happen, but I think there will be a little bit of surplus dollars. Keep in mind that we still have this ARPA money that's going to flow through, and we do have it earmarked to do some renovations in the great room and the sidewalk project or however that ends up moving forward. So that money has been committed, but it is going to be in the general fund, not in a separate ARPA fund after this year. Moving on to highway revenue. I need my little notes, but I think it's pretty simple. On the revenue page, basically it's just tax dollars that fund the revenue, except there's a big revenue for the highway fund and expense for the highway fund that are related to the Dumas Road buyout, which ended up costing us, I think, somewhere around $40 or something $1,000.
It doesn't cost, it won't cost us anything by the time we get reimbursed.
No, but I think
Why is that under highway?
that's where the FEMA stuff is. So it's under, it doesn't matter. You'll see it under revenue, and highway and expense. And then grant income, you'll see there's two grant incomes that show up on our revenue on the highway. Those are for projects that were completed the year before. Those were receivables on our books anyway, but they show up as revenue on the books. Salaries was right on. The one thing that I did want to bring to the board's attention, and maybe Russ also, is that we several years ago decided to add $6,000 into the budget for training for the highway, for the road crew. And it's been in there every year and for 2 or 3 years, and it hasn't been utilized. So I would encourage you to think about hiring someone to do some kind of stuff that can help improve skills or something for the road crew, or consider not putting it in the budget for next year, because it's in there every
That's
year.
left in for CDL upgrades. So that's-
Yeah, but it's never that much
That's
money.
what we put that in.
Yeah.
That much.
Yeah, but nobody's done it, so, for 3 years.
Really.
So I would suggest maybe if scheduling that or something. Contractor services, this is the one where there was, we made some adjustments, as the board made some adjustments, and that was that contractor line item that wasn't used at all, that's going to be utilized in FY26. And then also, we had budgeted extra money for ash tree and we didn't use it this past year. So this is something where once we know a surplus after the auditors, that's something where the board can make a recommendation, and you might decide to use some of this money for something else earmarked towards what, your choice. But that's something that the board would have to make a recommendation, and it would then have to go, either you could put it in the budget, or it would have to go to the voters if you wanted to put it into a reserve or anything like that for the ash trees. Everything else looked good. Like I explained, the FEMA buyout is on the highway side. Our energy was under energy. Our gas prices ended up being lower than we had projected, so that came in. The road materials, you'll notice when you look at it that there's fluctuations. That I wrote down, we use more stone, we use less sand, we use less gravel, we use more gravel, we use less salt. I mean, there's fluctuations depending on the projects that the team is working on, and depending on how bad mud season is or how bad the winter is. But 91% is where it netted out, which is great. And all the other expenses were right on. There's several insured losses that you'll see on there. There was one accident with one of the trucks, and there's $1,000 deductible paid out there. We do not budget for insured losses. And then there was also an accident where someone crashed into the Bridge 7, and there are revenues that offset that under our insured loss revenue. And other than that, capital expenditures, that's just our paving and the new truck, and they also came in at 99% of what we budgeted also.
This is nice.
So the numbers look good. In summary,
Nice job. More stone.
more stone.
So she's paid attention.
Just to sum it up, I think, and I think I said this in the email that I sent all of you, I think this year, I think we're all kind of like a fine, machine, like this whole team, including the select board. I feel like the budget process is going more easily. we all kind of know where we need to ask for help or check in with each other. Russ is doing a great job managing a lot of stuff, and his team is doing a great job of maintaining the equipment, so we're staying in where we need to be for equipment repairs. Yeah, I think everything looks great. So we will have some ARPA surplus that's gonna flow through. I don't think we'll have a sizable other surplus, because we've earmarked some of it to be used next year already, and we used some of that extra money that we had because we didn't have a planning and zoning administrator to offset some other expenses. I don't know what else I can tell you other than we still have things coming up coming down the pipe. We have the exterior here has been painted, the roof on the schoolhouse has been painted. And we're almost done with the exterior here, and then we're gonna work towards the flooring, figuring out the flooring situation in the great room. We have some stuff we wanna talk about, for the pedestrian safety in Underhill Center and sidewalk improvements. And then Russ has to get going on finding someone to do some design for the town garage this year. So exciting stuff that will help us work towards planning our budget for fiscal year 27. So that's all I got.
The big reminder is last year we had a sizable surplus that we formulated a budget from.
Yeah.
And this year we will not have that luxury. So it's not like we're gonna be matching numbers.
We'll have less money this year than last year, not only because we won't have the surplus dollars, but also because $100,000 of income that we receive for highway supplemental income goes directly into a reserve. So we'll be trying to do the same things with less money, but we did some extra stuff this year, like that we just talked about.
Right, we did the dump truck and we did the paving, and we had talked about next year probably won't be the same number for paving.
Yeah, the dump truck I don't think was really added into it because that payment's deferred for a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the paving, we jacked up on the paving, luckily we got the grant, which was unforeseen,
Right.
but all
All
these
the repairs,
renovations.
renovations here.
But we utilized a, big
Yeah.
chunk of surplus to do that,
Right.
so it almost like you'd be looking at the year before budget as a guide
Really good point.
instead of.
Yeah.
So we should have some extra revenue under paving, right? Now that
We'll have to see what this all comes in at,
Right,
right?
but in a perfect world, that we should have a pretty good chunk of
Yeah.
this. Whether we figure that over, whether we.
I don't know if you're ever gonna have extra money for paving. You're always gonna.
Well, no, because we had budgeted the bigger amount, right, and then we got the grant.
Right, no, I understand what you're saying, but there'll always be something that needs to be.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
It'll be a good discussion
It's
for
a
another
discussion
meeting.
for another meeting.
As soon as we find out what
Yeah.
this
Right.
bill
Agree.
is.
What we can do with it.
Right.
That's what I was getting at.
No, I'm with you.
So
Jennifer, thank
I
you.
guess my thing is, thank you everyone else, because it makes my job really easy. I just pull all the numbers together, but everybody here does all the work. So thank you, everybody else.
It's a team.
Thank you, Jen.
Mhm.
And thank you, Jennifer.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you could just stop sharing, that'd be great.
I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing. Not sure I know how to do that. Hold on. And Maureen, and everybody, if you, hold on, stop sharing. If you look through this and you have questions or you want to go over any of the numbers, I am super happy to meet with anybody. If there's something on here that you don't understand or you want to know more about, and that goes for any resident that ever calls me or emails me or whatever. And this and the presentation are already on our website. So if anybody
Awesome.
wants.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have at it.
Great job.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, it is 6:41 and we were supposed to be at 6:40. We were supposed to be talking with Russ, but Russ is here. He's ready to go and he's gonna catch us right
Ready to
up.
go.
Let's go.
Okay, first thing on my section is we need to purchase some plow blades.
Yep.
Since I have been here for 3 years, we have not purchased any plow blades except for our mud blades, which were kindly approved by the select board.
Thanks, Patty.
I know. You don't rub that in my eye for a while.
So we have two types of blades that we need. We do need to order another set of mud blades to upgrade up, to put on the plows before winter, and our regular blades. So I got two quotes, one from Viking Surveys in Williston, and one from Eastern Wear Parts. These two are pretty much the ones that we get all of our kind of stuff.
Where is the Eastern wear parts from?
They are out of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, or one of them, Mass or New Hampshire. We get some things from them. And so as you can see, they came in less, and they have great service. No freight, they ship it, truck freight, no charge, anything over 1,000. So my recommendation is to purchase a set of blades for each of the dirt trucks and a set of mud blades for the mud plows.
Okay, I'm gonna move that we authorize highway to order plow blades from Eastern Wear Parts in the amount not to exceed $1,200. That money's gonna come from the heavy truck maintenance line item for the fiscal year 26 budget.
1,200?
12,000.
1,000.
Good catch.
Second that.
Any discussion?
We like mud, what are they called?
Saving grace.
That's why she lives on Pleasant Valley Road.
And made you wait for them.
Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor of approving up to $12,000 for the highway department for blades, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Next thing is the Pleasant Valley Road paving update, which Patty got here about 5 minutes less than it normally takes her.
Smooth
she said.
sailing now.
Um,
The sheriff's gonna have a field day out there.
So nice.
Paving has been completed. Tomorrow they'll be working on shoulder work, neating it all up,
And driveways, right?
and driveways, anything along the edge, they'll be working on tomorrow. And then they're not sure when the line striping will be done, but it's pretty much just one company that does it, and they're on the list. That's what they said last year too on our settlement, and that came in like within a few days, so that worked out well. But I think they did a fantastic job. Happy with their work.
I was curious about the extra pavement up Jackson Hill. Looks like they paved about 100 feet into Jackson Hill.
Well, that's good for them.
That wasn't on,
No, they went further, yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like they went further than normal.
Okay.
just something to follow up with. Maybe the Jackson Hill folks hired them to extend it more. It's not a town highway.
Well, Tyler did ask me about an apron on that road, and yes, we want to do an apron, but we didn't get into any
Yeah,
distance or anything like that.
Well, it's for them.
It's needed. I mean, I don't know if 100 feet, I don't know if it's 100 feet or.
looked 100 to me. It's private road.
All right, well, thank you for catching us up, Russ. I knew you could hit the ball hard and get it out of the park, and you did it. That's right. Thank
I
you.
have one
more thing?
my request from the last meeting was to give you folks updates on what we
Yes.
do in the 2 weeks between our meetings, and I think is important. So here's my first report for the last 2 weeks. We replaced the driveway culvert at number 6 Paul Cook Road. We replaced the driveway culvert at 305 Poker Hill. We went to Dune Road and cut some hazard trees, ditched, gravelled, graded, and seed and mulched the ditch. We went to Kelly Road, basically did the same thing there, as well as we upgraded our town turnaround and did guardrail maintenance. When I talk about guardrail maintenance, that means we built a device for the excavator to clean gravel all around the post, so we can get water flowing and it looks so much cleaner. And we're going to try to do that anytime we're in an area that we're working. It works really, really slick. So it just neatens things up and lets water go where it needs to go. We went to Page Road, did a short section of gravel and grade up there. We did a section of 2,600 feet of ditching on Poker Hill Road from number 271 to 311. We went there just to work on a plug culvert. That turned into a mess, not really a mess, but a job that needed to be done, which also included P&P coming to flush 5 driveway culverts that were all plugged. So that section was very nice now. So we get that all ditched, seeded, and mulched.
It was on Poker Hill Road,
Poker Hill Road. Yeah.
over near Alexander's.
Exactly, at Alexander's. I saw Ted here, and he asked if I could check his culvert, and we checked it, and like, we need to do a lot more work here. So it was just right at a good timing. We got it done from right off. We went into 12 Dumas Road. We burned the brush and picked up some junk around the area that we talked about the last meeting, so that should be cleaned up. We started yesterday on Maple Leaf doing our MRGP segment. Started with mulching the brush with the excavator. And today we went and cut and chipped the trees, got that ready, and started pulling stumps. And Ken took a couple days off this week, went to Maine, had him gone for a couple days. We did some small repairs on some of the equipment, and in between things, we hauled 38 loads of sand.
Nice.
So that's what we've been doing last
Slackers.
weeks. But everything went very well. Everybody working good together, and
That's where the saltwater taffy came from for your house.
That's where it's from?
And brought it back.
Thank you, Russ.
thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Great
it.
job.
very clear.
Listening to that.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Russ. Next on the agenda is
Good night.
the.
Good night.
Good night.
Good luck setting post holes.
Yeah, I got 2 more.
The fiscal year 26 MRGP grant award. Brad, you gonna?
Yeah, so this is state fiscal year 26. The grant's good for our fiscal year 26 into 27. And it's MRGP stands for Municipal Road General Permit. And this is stormwater, like Russ had alluded to before. So this grant is like a no-brainer. All you got to do is pay attention when it comes around and submit a letter of intent, which we did. Keep up on your reporting and so forth, which I need to work on next. But so the grant's a little bit larger this year. I think it is 29,000. So basically, in order to get that 29,000, we have to match it by 20. Or what is it? Is it 20%? It's like 50.
We wrote $29,000 for us to approve.
It's so the in-kind match is 72.5, 72. But the beauty with this match is we get to Russ's time, our trucks, our
Okay.
equipment. We'd be out working anyway, right? So we take all that right off the top. This is a great program. I hope it lasts. But I made
Hey,
a note.
guys, did something just change with your sound?
No, can you hear us okay? Can you not hear us?
Can you hear us?
Donna, can you hear us?
Yeah, nothing changed for me.
Okay. I think it's a problem on your end, Maureen. Maybe you can't hear us.
Her AirPods died.
Oh, then I guess it's just me. Never mind.
Okay.
Sorry.
So anyway, I
Exactly.
have a suggested motion just to authorize me to execute this grant and send it off to the state.
So you need a motion?
Yeah.
So we're gonna move that, I'll move that authorize the town administrator to execute the state fiscal year grant 26 grants and aid award in the amount of $29,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Great. Just want to, just for the record, thank Brad for keeping track of these and chasing these down,
Mhm.
because that's just fabulous money for us to bring in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I said, it's kind of a no-brainer. You just have to pay
Exactly.
attention, that's all.
Exactly.
But we have lost them in the past. People have dropped the ball in the past with them. So,
But we don't drop the ball.
well, I'm not gonna say never, but
We
try our
don't-
best.
We don't
we try our best.
move the ball.
So I will do that, or did you?
We haven't voted yet. Patty was waiting
Is
to
it
see if she had any more other questions. You good? Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, you ready for the question?
Mhm.
All those in favor of authorizing Brad to execute the state fiscal year 26 grant and aid award in the amount of $29,000, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, the nay. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, Brad, I think that was that, huh?
Was that?
Okay, so the next update is for Mountain Road.
It's gonna be a little more complicated.
I like complicated.
So I don't know if you read my memo. Pretty much explained how we got here, but I can just refresh. And the map is really helpful. If you look at the map, I can pass the map around. The map is very helpful at understanding how the upper section of Mountain Road is maintained in the winter or not maintained. So the issue is everybody familiar with the winter parking lot that exists on Mountain Road?
Mhm.
You know where it is, Marine, everybody else. So the trouble happens when, the state, so Russ plows to the last house. Can't remember the number, but it's the last house. It actually got extended up the road a little bit, but that's marked on the map. And then the state contracts to have the next section of road paved to the winter parking. So when they plow that, they push up a berm and they block the road. But the problem happens is in the winter, early winter, late fall, early winter, the first snowfall, and we've set up sawhorses before saying road closed. People just go around them, and then Bob was up there with the fire department last year. They had a couple instances where some, people not knowing what they're getting into, coming back down and flying off the road. It's pretty dangerous. There's no guardrails up there. It's pretty steep. And it puts people in danger, puts emergency services in danger, tow trucks. So Bob suggested, we should think about putting up a gate. So I met with Forest and Parks, two people that I normally deal with, or one person that I don't normally deal with, but he's in charge of that facility. And they were definitely open to the idea. The issue is this is a class 3 highway. So class 3 highways are supposed to be maintained all year round and passable by a pleasure car all 4 seasons. So this has been an agreement we've had with the state because the state doesn't want to plow. They want people to park in the winter parking lot, either snowshoe or ski up into the park. And there's no houses up beyond there. There's just some seasonal camps and raw land. So there's a procedure we have to go through, and it's the same, I outlined it in my memo here, but it's the same 709 procedure that we would do for a reclassification or discontinuance. It's the same exact process. So,
Including public hearings? and
yes, a whole smash. And I helped the town of Fletcher, probably 15 years ago or something, with a road. It's called Wright Road. It connects the pond to North Road, and they went through the same procedure. So I helped them with that then, doing some surveying. But it's the same procedure we went through. Patty and Maureen, Shara, you were not involved in the Butler Road discontinuance, but that's the last procedure we did, 709 procedure. But it's 30 days notice of a site visit and a hearing. You notify all the landowners. Forest Parks and Recreation is also by default notified on any or any reclassification or 709. And this time they're really involved because it feeds their park. Also lien holders. So if you have a mortgage company or you're in current use, everybody gets notified. It's a little bit of pain in the butt. We put it in the paper 10 days before the hearing. We have a site visit where we inspect the property, or the select board inspects the property. And then we either that same day or another day have a hearing. So you hear from the public. And basically we need to make a case that this highway is, and you'll see in that section 302, and when I talk about sections, it's all Title 19. Highways is all Title 19. So section 302 talks about this very procedure. And I certainly think that we have a strong case to prove that this is a safety, kind of like they don't plow the notch in the winter. This is along those same lines. There's not adequate guardrail. It's just, it's very high elevation. You're getting up towards the end is well over, almost at the 2,000 foot mark. And so I think we've got a really good case of why not to plow it. But we've been doing it all these years. And I don't know, I guess it was just an agreement between us and the state. I don't think we ever historically plowed all the way up there. Bob, maybe but
Has anybody asked for it to be plowed?
No.
No.
Okay.
But we have to, so the idea would be, you have the hearing. If someone asks to have it, oh, we want this plowed, well, we're going to make the case, no, we don't want to have this plowed, but they have the right to be heard.
Once we have the hearing and the procedure is concluded, is that decision for in perpetuity until?
It's called the return. So it's the select board return. And you'll see in the Butler Road case, I included that document. It's called the return. And basically you state all the procedural history. No, it stands in stone.
Right, but it's only for the winter period. We're
Yes.
maintaining it, the state
Exactly.
is maintaining it, all the other.
We
procedures.
maintain it as a class 3 highway.
All the way to the state park?
Like I said here in my first part here, we grade it, we've changed culverts, we cut trees when needed. We do all the things that you would to a class 3 road. We get state aid for it.
But to clarify what she's saying,
Yes,
we typically have ended our obligation at the gate. We technically, I think the road goes all the way up to the ranger station.
it does, and we've graded.
And the
up
gate,
to-
hold on, the gate is this line, plowing ends here.
No,
No, the
Way
upper.
The upper gate.
Yeah.
But you're proposing a gate down here,
yes,
where plowing ends here?
Yeah,
That's the gate
because
proposal.
as I said in my narrative here, in my memo, it's never a problem. Once winter's in full swing, there's a huge bank there, and then nobody's going.
Right.
But
It's
then,
it's before snowfall
Yeah.
hits.
and the fact that we can't legally do this, right? It's a class 3 highway. If we're gonna take state aid from it, we're supposed to be plowing it. But there's this provision in state law that we just need to go through the right
steps.
procedure.
Okay.
And so after the return, so we have the hearing, I think within 60 days, we do it quicker than that. We have to draft this return, and it's just like the one, you could look at the Butler Road one that's in your packet tonight. That is appealable. In 30 days, if it's not appealed, it stands until it's changed. So this would be doing the right thing, and we would be in full compliance. I know this happens in other towns. Cambridge has got a road that's class 3 highway. They just block it off in the winter and don't plow it. I'm sure they've never been through this procedure. The first time I like I said, I went through this procedure with Fletcher 15 years ago. So,
This has happened on multiple years where we've had cars from out of town that go up there, and then they go for the hike, and then we have snowfall, and it may not be a significant snowfall down at this elevation, but on that elevation, it is very significant, and then it's black ice, you know, and treacherous and everything like that, and then they go off the road, you know, type of thing, and then, you know, clearly looking for help, you know, and it puts our first responders at grave risk, and, you know, including in the first responders, our road crew, you know, because oftentimes they have to come up and sand for us, or the fire department, rescue squads, police or whatever to go up there. And they're just as vulnerable as we are with, and have to chain up and everything like that to make sure that they're gonna be able to get down after they. It's just,
I agree, it makes total sense. I just, the process of going through the discontinuance, like
it's
what,
not a
or not
discontinuance.
discontinuance, it's the, what do
It's
you
a
call it,
reclass-
return?
Reclassification.
Reclass,
It's, it's a reclassification in a way.
for a season, not the entire year.
Exactly.
right.
Okay.
It's a conditional.
So either,
Okay.
right, so
That's-
you're
It's just the
getting,
winter time.
the big thing is you're getting state aid. And in order to get state aid, you're supposed to maintain 4 seasons.
It's late fall.
Yeah, we have no control over what kind of tires people have going up there in late fall. And even if they have an upgrade of tires, they may not have put them on yet.
So the seasonal, not reclassification, but.
The seasonal non-maintenance.
The seasonal non-maintenance, we have to apply it to the entirety of the mountain road?
No,
Oh,
just
okay.
this portion,
Okay.
just this
All right.
portion.
All
The
right.
portion I outlined, that as with any highway, you can reclassify a section, you can reclassify the whole thing.
Okay.
That's where the survey comes in, the survey aspect of it comes in. So gating the road is a whole nother procedure, right? It's called penting, used to be years ago, when farmers wanted to petition the town to put a gate up across the road. So this way they wouldn't have to fence each side of the road, right? Cows could just go right across the road. The only trick with that is you had to do it every year and you had to keep the gate open. So and there usually were bars. In the old days, you'd slide the bars back, drive through, slide them back, go on your way. And that was a pent road. This is a little different, but I haven't talked to the attorneys yet, as they're really, really busy. But I've got as much experience in these matters as they do. And I think we could wrap the gate into this whole procedure. You know, then the public is notified. The only thing I would say, add to that, is any landowner that has property up through there should be able to get through the gate.
Sure.
So,
How about it?
but I think it's a good thing to do, and it'll get you warmed up for other things.
Just so the board knows, it has not been the residents of this town that have been the issue.
No, I know.
It's folks from out of town that don't know, you know,
Yeah.
they're not from New York.
And it's a liability, right?
So they're not from
So
New
you're
York.
talking about where we stop plowing?
No,
You're talking
where
about
the
winter
state, the winter park.
Winter parking.
So from there,
Where they are.
for the remainder of the road.
So I'm gonna move that we draft prepared warning for September 11th meeting, which will set the timeline for the 30-day public notice of a site inspection followed by a public hearing. Is there a second? Right?
Yes, but go ahead.
Thank you. Second by,
Second.
okay.
I've been hogging all the seconds.
You get it to them.
Just like, I should share.
Any discussion?
When we get to the spot where we do the gating, I just want to make sure that the gate is highly visible.
Well,
Let me finish. There's a procedure for closing it and keeping it out of the roadway. There was a horrific accident in the city of Burlington where a gate was partially left open and a young person drove their car into a park and they were impaled and seriously injured.
I think once you see this spot, you'll see that it's not too bad, but the state has agreed to pay for and erect the gate.
Okay.
So they erect gates in state parks all over the state, and they're very well aware of the safety. They have a certain gate they use. So that'll be.
I'm just gonna harp on that because
Yeah.
I was part of the city of Burlington at that time and it was a horrific accident.
Yeah, well, the state's gonna be, in my mind,
Those
responsible for
Yorkers
the
that are
gate.
driving down that don't have their tires on.
But the
I'm
state,
worried about that.
Me too.
the state, in my mind, is gonna be fully responsible for the gate.
Agreed, I'm
So,
still gonna
yeah.
advocate for
Yeah,
serious visibility and
yeah. So,
cultural practice.
Do you want to vote or do you want
I just wanted to say one thing. In order to draft the warning, we need to know some dates. So I propose that we work offline to see
to? Okay,
what's gonna work for everybody for inspection in a hearing.
sure, we can do
Okay.
that. We'll work that all out.
So that road is plowed, but not sanded. From where we stopped plowing.
Yes, but it's supposed to be,
It's only plowed.
I know, but we want to play by the strict rules of golf. We're supposed to plow because it's class 3 highway all the way up to the ranger station, way beyond what we've been doing now.
But I'm just saying that maybe somewhere along the lines it ought to be included that that section where we stop plowing and the contractor takes over, maybe that section should be sanded and not just plowed, because that can get very slippery as well.
But we're stopping at that,
The last house, the new house, the last
Right.
new house.
So the state does the same thing on Stevensville, right? So Russ stops around Maple Leaf Farm or where it used to be, Retribe, whatever you want to call it. And the state plows beyond there. Any plowing they're doing, they're responsible. This is the state of
Right.
Vermont we're
Right.
talking about, right? So they're in charge of like Smuggler's Notch. It's not, V-Trans is not V-Trans is not really in charge of Smuggler's Notch. Forest Parks and Recreation is. So, and among 1,000 other roads all throughout the state. So this is not uncommon what they do here.
we're just catching up with the times, hopefully.
I just think it's we talk about a gate, that's fine. You could just slap the gate up and not go through this procedure, but really it's the right thing to do because
We should go through the process.
the process.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of pursuing ahead with warning a prepared meeting for around September 11th? Instead of timeline for a 30-day public notice and site inspection as relates to Mountain Road in the winter maintenance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, Brad, that was easy.
Yeah, sort of.
Just begin.
It's just beginning.
And we'll work offline to get that other stuff figured out.
Yeah.
The 2025 Municipal Day,
Yeah, so Larry shot me an email and he said, hey, he said, I think it would be a good idea if we could have, some of our planning commission members. And then I said, well, you might as well include DRB and Conservation Commission attend or, offer to reimburse the $35 registration for this natural resources and our municipal day. So our planning commission and our DRB spend countless hours here volunteering. I mean, countless. The DRB is often here till, I've seen them here till midnight, deliberating, writing decisions. They do a lot for this town. And I would highly suggest that I wouldn't think a whole lot of them are going to be interested in going to Municipal Day, but if 6 or
Maybe.
7 do,
Right,
I think it's a good thing to offer.
that's a small investment,
Yeah, agreed.
but wise.
I'll move that the town of Underhill reimburse or offer to reimburse up to the $35 registration fee for those boards and commission members who would like to attend the 2025 Municipal Day event. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion?
I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, thank Larry for suggesting it. So I'll confer with him and tell everybody else.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of reimbursement, $35 for those boards and commission members who'd like to attend the 2025 Municipal Day, please signify by saying aye.
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 Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Brad, you're still up. You got several old business things.
Yep, Butler Road turnaround. So this was, in 2021, we discontinued a portion of Butler Road. And I know it's called Butler Lane, but it's always been referred to as Butler Road or Town Highway 11. Easier to just refer to it as Town Highway 11. So we went through that discontinuance process. We basically took a class 4 road. We took a section of a class 4 road and discontinued it. So that created a new terminus.
I don't think they're paying attention, they're playing games.
I'm paying attention. Terminus.
So we created a new terminus, okay?
Great word.
So we created a new terminus, and in the return, you'll see there's an example of what your document for the mountain road is gonna look like. It's called a select board's return and order. And you just have to forgive me if I say select men, because I'm just used to reading old statute, and I don't mean it. I mean select board, but it was that way for a long time. So I might slip and say it. Anyway, it's called the return. But in that return, at the end, we said, and I highlighted it, the decision to discontinue the northern portion of Town Highway 11 is based on the condition that the town of Underhill is able to utilize a reasonable area near the terminus of the southern portion of the discontinued segment for the purpose of turning around town and emergency vehicles. Located, the turnaround to be determined and defined at a later date. So that's what Bob was saying about unfinished business. This is unfinished business. Russ and I met with William, and while this discontinuance was going on, I went down and met with John and William and said, you know, we're going to put this in the order, that this is going to be part of the deal. So they were agreeable to it. William would just like us to use, you'll see the photographs in your packet. William would prefer that we just utilize his turnaround in his sugar house right now. If you don't think that's a good idea, there's about 100 feet short of that. There's a possible turnaround area. It would require some fill, some gravel, and some work. And it would also require, if we want to meet the fire department's standard turnaround, we would need extra land outside of our right of way. So we would need to gain an easement, probably 10 to 15 feet extra outside of the 20, so 25 feet from center, we'd probably want to have at least 38 to 40 feet. So whatever that difference is, we would need to get an easement from them, a perpetual easement, or perpetuity. I just didn't know, I didn't make a recommendation because I didn't know what your appetite was for. Either way, there should be an agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we utilize, so right there is the boundary, right there's the end of the class 4. So you'd be traveling out on the private land and turning around. But, you know, we don't go out there very often.
He's willing to give us something in writing that says that we're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And if he sold the land, that right would continue
Yeah, we could do errors and assigns, sure,
Perfect.
but that'll never get sold. I don't
But you know what I
think. But
mean,
yeah,
it's-
yeah, no, we could write it up so it's errors and assigns for sure.
Okay.
I would suggest that if a situation arises where there's a disagreement or a falling out, right? That you reserve the right to put have plan B,
I agree with that.
right?
Yep. As
So
long
that
as it's
way,
working for both parties, that's great.
Yeah.
If it's not, then we have
if it's
the
not
ability to go do the other piece of,
with the extended,
yes.
Yeah. so
I think that makes sense.
But
Of course it does.
And he wanted some
You qualify.
material.
I added that in my, so the thing is here, he basically said, William said that, well, you're gonna spend all this money building this turnaround. He said, I would, in exchange, I would take a few loads of material. He didn't say what kind of material, but he said a few loads of material in exchange and
He
we'll,
means gravel.
he means gravel.
I
So,
think that would be
I think
fair,
that's fine.
Totally fine.
Yep.
especially the way William maintains that road.
yeah, he does a great job.
So it'd be the consensus of the board to have you proceed forward in the direction that you think is, that we are going to work around the sugar house and have language in there in case something goes sour for either party, that we would go, reserve the right to go back to the plan B or back closer to the end of the class 4 road.
Exactly.
So can you, if that's the consensus, won't have a motion, but we'll just give you guidance to say, keep going in that direction and have the paperwork drawn up legally so that we can get that off the list.
Yeah, probably wanna, either map it out or do something, but it'll be pretty minimal fee to do that. The biggest cost will be the legal, drawing up the legal documents, so. Yep, I can do that.
So then we would incur that expense.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah, it'd be our attorney, so.
Yep.
Okay? Robinsons
No, we got one other little,
on Butler Road.
yeah, so there was a culvert that was discussed in 2020, and Bob, you made a motion, I included the minutes from that, where a culvert had failed on Butler Road, this is a class 4 highway.
Yep.
Nate said that he had one at the garage, I'm sure that's long gone. We looked at it, Russ and I looked at it, and William's willing to put it in if we could provide him one. So,
Do we have one?
It would have to be a new one. We don't have, I think that was a used one.
Yeah.
Or something.
It was a used one that we.
used plastic.
A used plastic culvert.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put a used plastic culvert in. It's just, if you're gonna do it,
Right.
and I would, not that, I'd like to kind of move forward with a direction of, if we're putting a culvert in the town right away, we should put the culvert in the town right away.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I'm not trying to make extra work for us, but
But if they do it wrong,
we've had some instances, and I'm like, oh, we should just do it ourselves.
right, if they do it wrong, then we just wasted a culvert.
We have to maintain it, we have to stand behind it, whether we put it in or they put it in, so I'd rather, if we gotta stand behind it and maintain it, that we put it in.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep, I think that makes sense. So does Mod.
7:30, almost 7:30.
Exactly.
Okay, so,
So go ahead and, if you could go ahead and make that happen, that would be awesome. I don't know if, it's gonna happen, before snow flies, or if this is gonna be a spring job. I don't know how quickly that needs to be done. I guess I leave that in your capable hands to make that determination on what you have going on and when you can do that, but I think the
It might be-
consensus, the green light is given to go ahead and do it.
Might be a quick thing, would take us a day to do it, might be just something we can just pop in and get it.
I don't think you're gonna need any flaggers.
no, we
Do we
said
need to
road
take
for half
action
an
on
hour.
this? Or-
I don't think, if it's a consensus of the group, then we're going to go ahead and, he's just gonna have, obtain the culvert and bring it out there and do it. Do you want to make a motion?
No, I agree. It's like you've already, the select board in a prior meeting has made a motion to do that act. It just hasn't been completed, so we're
Right,
just,
we were gonna use a used one, but we're,
I know, but it's already been decided, so we're just pushing the noodle uphill.
We'll get it done.
okay, so if it's a consensus that we're gonna do it now with a new one, and that the town is gonna do this, and we can thank William for offering to do it, but we would rather do it ourselves. I'm
Yes.
sure he won't necessarily have an issue with that.
No.
Just need to coordinate if we're gonna be doing it.
Probably should
In
do
the
it right there in
spring.
Sugar
So I was
Station.
gonna say, don't do it during sugar season, you know, that might sour the relationship.
We're doing that April, whatever. Look at it all, but whatever.
Road closed.
That's right. We used to have a turnaround, now we don't have one. Okay, Brad, is that good for Butler Road?
Yes.
So Robinson's,
Nothing new to report here. I've been,
center sidewalk?
so I've talked to Scott Homestead. I think I'd like to get him out here. He's briefly looked at this before, but I keep kind of going back to this thing about maybe, since we have to realign this portion of the road, because you're gonna be running the sidewalk across the bridge. So we can't run traffic right into the sidewalk. We'll have to shuck there's gonna be some pavement removal or shucking around, is maybe look at widening some of the shoulders down through Cedric's.
You don't wanna
Yeah.
build a little covered bridge like they have in Stowe and make it picturesque?
That'd be beautiful. But anyway, I'm gonna, we've talked, and I will have something definite to report on both these items next time. So, something definite to report on both these, Robinson and the sidewalk.
Patty said we should use the ash trees and make it.
Right, covered bridge, corduroy the
That's an
road.
excellent idea, Patty. Glad you thought of that.
Patty Richards pedestrian bridge.
That's right.
It'll be a new tourist attraction.
That's right. It will.
Everybody parking over
We'll
here.
put some type of, marking of New York State on there somewhere for you, just.
Yorkers decided.
That's right.
So, Dumas Road, Russ was kind enough to go down and burn the brush. And there's some stones there. I might just pick them up or something, or throw them over the bank. Or there were some fire pit stones. There was an old fire pit there, but I just don't want, when FEMA comes out, I don't want anything to, anyhow, we should be able to finalize the paperwork and
I
get
think,
reimbursed for the,
I think we're good
we're good.
with Dumas Road.
Were we
Good.
able to save some of the fence along the embankment?
I'm gonna fight for that. I'm gonna just say
Yeah.
that I think the
It's-
fence should stay because it's a safety thing.
There's
Me
a
too.
birdhouse on there.
There's a birdhouse on it.
Bluebird.
Bluebird in it.
Oh, really?
Well, I think he's embellishing.
Oh.
Wait, wait.
Now, if there was a bat living in there, we'd be all set.
That's true.
So yeah, anyway, we're done with Dumas Road.
So we can
I'll
take,
close that up.
we can take Dumas Road off the list.
Yes. Nothing more to talk about,
Excellent.
except the check when we get it.
Okay. And then the last and final piece, is the Moore Park Pavilion.
Yep, so I added a little memo there, as you know, the pavilion's up. The Moores donated the pavilion, they did the slab. We provided some site work to do the gravel, we did the electrical work. We need to finish, and I didn't want to, Russ and I have kind of talked about it before, and equipment's a little big. Russ is afraid, I think, gonna go in and make a bigger mess than, so we need a couple loads of topsoil and maybe some SurePack just to finish the ramp out. And then I can close the permit with public safety and the building can be open to the public.
So Moores aren't willing to do that?
No, they kind of, when we entered this deal, I looked back at the minutes and they said, we're gonna provide the building, we're gonna erect the building, we're gonna provide the slab, the cost of the concrete. We just like the the town to prep it, and this is part of the finishing it.
So how much do you think this is gonna cost to have outside do this?
I don't know if we get somebody like, the ramp's no big deal at all. It's just building a little wooden section to get
So I
up
guess,
there.
I guess where I'm going is that
Yeah.
this is not budgeted.
It
So,
isn't, no.
so if we're good for now, and this can hold, then we would put it into, we'll find out how much it's gonna cost to finish it, put it in and propose it for the next fiscal year budget, and then after July 1 of next year, then we can finish.
So we won't be using the pavilion at all because we gotta close out the public safety permit, so it can't be occupied or used. I think it's been used. Nobody's using it now because you can't really get into it very well. It's got gravel. I don't think we're talking a huge amount of money here.
Well, can you get a couple bids and find out how
Yeah.
much it's gonna cost?
I don't think you're talking more than, if we buy the topsoil,
So it's probably $30 a yard, $40 a
Yeah,
yard.
yeah.
Not much you need, but.
or if you put,
It'll add up.
Talking like $1,500.
Everything
yeah,
adds up.
something like that, 1,500 or maybe 2,000 at the most. So
What do you
we've come this far.
I just know things add up quickly. As we know, these things.
Well,
add up
so
quickly.
But the pavilion by law, because we have a public safety permit, cannot be occupied or used.
So how is the music?
Well, they obviously just used it for that night. It's not technically, shouldn't have been used, but we're gonna get over that and just I wanna try and get the thing so it's compliant with our permit
Mhm.
Well,
and get it
maybe,
open for the public.
so for the next meeting, can you please get some, estimates on what it's gonna cost to finish it, so then we can have something to look at and then,
Okay,
make a decision. And then and also have a proposal where the funds are gonna come, to, pay for that.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Closing public, anything else? Anybody else have any questions about Moore Park? There's no one here, so I can't ask anyone here if they have any, public comment. Anyone online have anything that they would like to address the board with?
I actually have one thing that I would like to say. I don't know if it's appropriate as a board member or a resident, but I just wanted to compliment the rec committee on the construction of the new playground at the town pond. It is a fabulous structure that they really did a lot in a small space. I've seen tons of kids enjoyed it. My kids have gone and played. I think they did a really great job on getting the most into that space. And so I just wanted to share a compliment for the rec committee on a really job well done.
Thanks, Maureen.
Nice job.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say there's no more, I don't know, Heather, if she has anything,
I'm all set, she says.
all
Thank you.
set, okay. All right. so-
Erin has her hand up.
Erin, okay, I'm sorry, didn't even see Erin. How come I don't see Erin?
Hey, I just had a really
Oh,
quick
there's-
question. Did you,
Okay.
I missed it. Did you talk about the Underhill Center sidewalk update? Was that really quick
Yeah.
with the Robinson?
Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing new to report.
Okay, thanks.
We'll check back in next time.
Okay, so, review and approve warrants. All right, Patty, here we go.
Rapid fire.
I'm gonna move that we approve the warrants for August 25th payroll warrant, dated 8/25/25. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the payroll warrant dated 8/25/25, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right,
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I'm gonna move that we approve the payroll invoices dated August 21st, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the warrants dated 8/21/2025, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion also carries 5-0. I'm gonna move that we approve the select board meeting minutes dated August 14th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the select board meeting minutes dated August 14, 2025, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0 again. This executive session motion, that can go with that. I don't do anything with this.
This is the follow-up on the Paul Cook Road thing. So if Jennifer left, but I don't know what the status of anything is. And if you're,
No,
you want to,
no, I'm
you're good with that?
okay. Let's back up.
Okay.
This executive session minutes goes with those meeting minutes.
No. Those are the motions for executive session that's on the agenda.
Gotcha. All right, now I understand. Okay, so we've approved the meeting and warrants, so that's done. Member items, correspondence, announcements, schedule. The next regular scheduled select board meeting is on September 11th at 6 o'clock. Does anybody have anything? Maureen gave us an update on the town hall or the town pond. I will need to make it a point to go and check that out. I will say, as a plug to the Chamberlain Farm, that I've had some of their sweet corn patty and it is probably the best right now.
Excellent.
So I would highly recommend you stop by.
On my way fast down Pleasant Valley Road. 'Cause
That's
I
right.
can
Pop the
zoom
chute.
through.
Pop the chute early so that you stop in time.
Can I just follow up? Did we do letters to the?
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I thank you cards. Yeah, I asked Sherry for some thank you. I was gonna pick some up. So
Or just, was it a letter? Or
I was gonna throw a thank you note, a thank you card, I think would be appropriate. I don't know, but
Just wanted to follow up and make sure that.
thank you card's nice and you can just handwrite it, say, hey, thank you for the, or I could type something up, whatever you want to do.
You guys can work it out.
Okay. I'll get you a box.
We'll talk later.
I'll get you a
Oh,
box.
no.
Nobody else has anything?
Talking to his people.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go into executive session. Under 1 VSA 313A1E, pending or possible civil litigation or the prosecution to which the public body is or may be a party, I'm gonna move that the select board makes. Okay, I move that the select board makes a finding that premature general public knowledge regarding the possible prosecution of an ordinance violation would clearly put the public body at a substantial disadvantage, as it will disclose the select board's deliberations regarding enforcement, litigation strategy, or priorities in any negotiation related thereto. So I move that. Seconded, and in addition to that, let's do it one at a time. All those in favor of going into executive session based on that, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, that motion carries. In addition to that, another motion is going to be that I move that the select board enter into an executive session to discuss the possible prosecution of a nuisance ordinance violation on Paul Cook Road. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of going into executive session to discuss nuisance ordinance violation on Paul Cook Road, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries 5-0. And I'm going to move, as a third motion, that per 1 VSA 313A3, the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee be discussed. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? What motion carries 5-0. And for these executive sessions, it will just be the select board. We are now going to be in executive session. The time is now 7:36. Brad, if you could stop the recording. We will go into executive session. We'll go up to the kitchen and we will record, and we can either come back on the record
This conference will now be recorded.
You good?
You're good.
I'm still Robert Stone. I'm still the chair of the Underhill Select Board. It is still the 28th of August. It is now 8:02. And I'm going to move that we come out of executive session. Is there a second?
Second?
Not debatable. All those in favor of coming out of executive session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries 5-0. So while we were in executive session, we discussed a couple things. The first one was that we do not, the board does not have a report from staff as it relates to the ongoing issue at Paul Cook Road. So we are going to look for a report or from folks so that we can discuss that, hopefully close that out for our next scheduled select board meeting. And then how do you want to wrap up the other two?
Yeah, the second item that we discussed regarding a personnel matter was phasing out the dual role of the zoning administrator and phasing down the stipend with that phase down approach. And specifically that the extra stipend will end by the end of October. It'll step down in 4 segments, 25%, 25%, 25%, until it drops to 0 by the end of October. And the other thing on a personnel matter is we're gonna look at all staff job descriptions, just to make sure for completeness and do a review of all staff job descriptions.
Okay. That's that. So I guess we're back to your favorite time of the meeting.
Well, I want to share that joy, you know. So much opportunity to get us out of here. So.
It's gonna do it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Dan, you gotta second it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries 5-0. I just want to know for the record that Brad thought we were going to be done at 8 and we are done at 8:05. So we are pretty close. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Well done,
See you.
everybody.